Now let's complete the computer awareness, which costs us 20 to 30 marks in every exam. If you crack this, you can crack any exam. So let's see. What is a computer? It's an electronic device that performs calculations and operation based on instructions provided by software and hardware program. Okay, next. What are the characteristics of computers? Speed. A computer can process millions of calculations per second. What about the accuracy? As computers work on inbuilt software program, there is no scope for human errors and highly accurate. Diligence. Computers are highly reliable. They are reliable. We can rely on that for the same speed and accuracy. Versatility. Computers are versatile in nature. That means it can perform various operations at the same time. Storage. Computers can store a large amount of data or instructions in its memory, which can be retrieved at any point of time. Let's see the history of computers. Several questions asked from the history of computers. Let's see. A computer was intended for making a person capable of performing numerical calculations with the help of a mechanical computing device. Now let's see abacus. It was the first counting device which was developed in China. It consists of a rectangular wooden frame and beads. The wooden frame contains horizontal rods and the beads which are passed through the rods. The beads of counters represent digits. The device is used to perform simple addition and subtraction. I think you have seen abacus board solving math the following questions, math problems everywhere by the small kids. This is not of Japan origin. This is Chinese origin. Napier's bones. It was a device which contained a set of rods made of bones. It was developed by a Scottish mathematician, John Napier. To perform multiplication and division, the device was developed. Napier also invented logarithms. What about Pascaline? Pascaline was the first calculating device with the capability to perform additions and subtractions on whole numbers. It was developed by Blaise Pascal. If he's a French mathematician. The device made up of interlocked cogwheels having 0 to 9 in its circumference. When one wheel completes its rotation, the other wheel moves by one segment. Okay, so here comes the next punch card system. Punched card system was invented by Herman Hollerith. Where does he come from? He is from American statistician. It was used for storing and retrieving data. In the form of punched holes, the system data could be stored. Punched holes. In the form of punched hole, the system data could be stored. This is punched card system invented by Herman Helmholtz. What about Pascaline? Pascal, Blaise Pascal. Napier's bones, what is that? It consists of set of rods made of bones and it was developed by Scottish mathematician. And what does Pascaline consist of? It consists of wheels. Napier's bones consists of bones, rods. Abacus consists of a board and Charles Babbage calculating engines. Let's see, he's from 1792 and 1871. Who invented the difference engine to solve algebraic expressions and mathematical tasks accurately? So he designed some improvements to his first computer. He's none other than Charles Babbage. The modified machine is called the analytical engine. He intended to design a machine with a collection of the four basic arithmetic functions. The design principle of the analytical engine can be divided into input, output, and memory and CPU. The parts and working principle of an analytical engine are the same as today's computer. Hence, Charles Babbage is known as the father of the computer. Hallett machine. What is it? What does it mean? A Hallett machine was incorporated with the tabular and punched cards. The machine could sense the punched holes, recognize the number, and make the required calculation and store the data of sensors. The machine was invented by Herman Hollerith. So it recognizes punched holes and it was incorporated with the tabular and punched cards. Okay, this is Hallett machine. What about Mark 1 computer? It's the first electromechanical computing device which was developed by Howard Hathaway Aiken. He used Hewlett's punch card and Babbage statement to develop Mark 1 computer with IBM. In Mark 3 computer, he used some electronic components and magnetic drum memory. In Mark 4 computer, he used all electronic components and magnetic drum memory and magnetic core memory. So let's revise it. What does Mark 1 computer consists of? First electromechanical computing device was developed by Howard Hathaway Aiken. Mark 1 computer developed by Howard Hathaway Aiken. He used Hollerith's punch card and Babbage statements to develop Mark 1. So Mark 1 computer contains Hollerith's punch card Babbage statements, and with along with IBM. In Mark III computer, he used some electronic components and magnetic drum memory. In Mark IV computer, he used all the electronic components and magnetic drum memory, magnetic core memory. So what about ABC? The first unprogrammable electronic digital computer. The Atanosov Berry computer, ABC, was the first electronic computer. It was designed by John Vincent Atanosov and Clifford E. Berry. It was designed to solve systems of linear algebraic equations. It was also the first to use capacitors for storage. The question may comes like this. It was also the who was the first to use capacitors for usage. That is ABC. That is Atanosov Berry computer. It was the first electronic computer, and Charles Babbage computer was not an electronic one. It's a mechanical kind of thing. What about electronic numerical integrator and calculator? ENIAC was the first electronic computer used for general purposes, such as solving numerical problems. It was invented by Presper Eckert and John Mackay. What about this? What about ABC? So it was designed to solve systems of linear algebraic equations. What does ENIAC do? It solves numerical problems and also for general purposes. So that is the difference, I think. This is ENIAC, Electronic Numerical Integrator and Calculator. Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer, EDVAC. EDVAC was the successor of ENIAC, and in this computer, binary numbers were used for arithmetic operations, and the internal storage of instructions were also written in digital forms. So that is the difference. ENIAC was first electronic computer used for general purposes such as solving a numerical problem. So EDVAC, which is Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer. You must remember the abbreviation. It may be asked. What about ENIAC? Electronic Numerical Integrator and Calculator. Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer. So it was the successor of ENIAC. In this computer, binary numbers were used for arithmetic operations, and the internal storage of instructions were also written in digital forms. Next comes the EDSAC, Electronic Delay Storage Automatic Calculator. Delay storage. Remember the keywords. Electronic Delay Storage Automatic Calculator, EDSAC. It was the first practical, general purpose, stored program electronic computer. It was built according to the non von Neumann machine principles. So question may be asked like this. Which of the following computers was built according to the von Neumann machine principles? And which was the first practical general purpose stored program electronic computer? That is EDSAC and not EDVAC and ENIAC. So let's see UNIVAC, Universal Automatic Computer. UNIVAC was the first commercially available computer. It was made by Eckert Mackley Computer Company. Eckert Mackley Computer Company. It represents the birth of modern computers. So let's see microprocessor Intel 4004. In 1969, Intel Corporation designed the first general purpose programmable processor Intel 4004. It was a set of 4 chips. That's why it is known as MCS4. It included a CPU chip, the 4004, as well as the supporting read-only memory chip for the custom applications programs, a random access memory chip for processing data, and shift regular chip for input and output port. So let's see the quick revision. Who is the father of computer? Is none other than Charles Babbage. Father of modern computer science, Alan Turing. First non-programmable electronic digital computer, ABC. First general purpose electronic digital computer, ENIAC. First microprocessor, Intel 4004. First commercially available computer, Universal Automatic Computer. So these are the some of the important things. Now let's see the generation of computers. First generation of computers, 1946 to 1959. What is it used? These were vacuum tubes based. You must understand this. And second generation of computers used vacuum tube were replaced with transistors. And third generation computers They replaced the transistors with integrated circuits. And in the fourth generation computers, they used large scale integrated circuits. Semiconductor devices are used as primary memory. Now let's see clearly and deeply. In the first generation of computers, they occupied a very large space and performed computations in milliseconds. Machine languages are used. In second generation computers, they are used assembly languages and batch processing operating system. Magnetic cores and magnet tapes were used as storage. Examples: IBM 1620, 1794, 164, CDC 3600. What about the fourth generation HSAC, EDVAC, UNIVAC, IBM 650, 701? So three digits are first generation computers, four digits are second generation computers. Just remember like that. So, third generation computers replaced transistors with ICs. As I said, first generation computer vacuum tubes, second generation computer transistors, next comes the integrated circuit, next comes the very large scale integrated circuits, VLSI. So in the third generation computers, they performed computation in nanoseconds. It used high level languages like Fortran, COBOL, Pascal, Algo 68, BASIC were used. In this generation, remote processing, time sharing, multi programming operating system were used. Fourth generation computers. They used very large scale integrated circuits. Semiconductor devices are used as primary memory. Magnetic disks are used as secondary storage. Problem oriented fourth generation languages are used, 4GL. Multiprocessing and multi-programming operating systems are used, such as examples Apple Series 192, IBM 4341, DEC 10, Star 1000, PUP 11. These are the fourth generation computers. So here comes the fifth generation computers, which are 1982 till present. They use ultra large scale integrated chips that contain millions of components on a single chip. They are in a development stage which is based on the artificial intelligence. These computers can also respond to neutral natural language input. Biochips will be used as memory devices and chips. Just knowledge based information processing system architecture will be used. Examples: robots and supercomputers. Now here comes the different types of computers. So based on the operations, it was divided into three types. That is analog computer, digital computer, hybrid computer. Analog computer. Analog computer stores data continuously in the form of physical quantities and perform calculations with the help of measures. It produces output in the form of graph. They are used in the calculation of physical variables such as voltage, pressure, temperature, speed, etc. So this is analog computer. Here comes the digital computer. A digital computer is the most commonly used type of computer and is working with data represented in digital form, usually binary zeros and ones. It can perform faster and give more accurate results. They are extensively used for solving complex problems in the field of engineering and technology, design, research, and data processing. Hybrid computer. A hybrid computer is a combined feature of analog and digital. That's why it is known as hybrid computer. In large industries and businesses, hybrid computer can be used for logical operations as well as efficient processing of differential equations. So based on the operation, why it is, on what basis it is operated, how it is operated. So this is for a first kind of classification. Let's see the second kind. Based on the configuration, what means, what does it consist of? Microcomputer. Microcomputers, they are small, inexpensive computer for personal use. They are popularly used at homes for playing homes, games, and surfing the internet. This is microcomputer. They are very small. Okay. So mini computer. Mini computers possess most of the features and capabilities of a large computer, but are smaller in physical size. They are used as small or mid-range operating business and scientific applications. What about mainframe computer? Mainframe computers are expensive and large size computers, and they are capable of supporting hundreds of users simultaneously. They are used for large scale applications. So, for the personal use, just for surfing the internet and for playing games, a microcomputer is used. A mini computer, which is a but smaller in physical size but has the capabilities of a large computer. They are used as small or mid-range operating business. So if you are a businessman, you will be more likely to be using mini computer. If you are at home, you will use microcomputer. But if you want to process large scale operations, a mainframe computer is necessary. Supercomputers. These are powerful, expensive, and the fastest computers. They have architecture and operating principles from parallel and grid processing for performing billions and trillions of calculations per second. They are used for applications that require large amounts of mathematical calculations like weather processing, fluid dynamics, graphic design, etc. India launched Mihir supercomputer recently to improve India's weather forecasting. So that is, let's see them. India's first supercomputer in the world, Cray CDC 6600. First supercomputer in the world. First supercomputer of India, Param 8000. First supercomputer in the world, Cray. In India, it's Param. What is the fastest supercomputer in the world? It's a Summit by USA. Which is the fastest supercomputer in India? Pratyush. Pratyush is the fastest supercomputer in India. Based on utility, on what purposes you use the computer. General purpose computer. A general purpose computer can perform an extensive variety of operations, like it can store and execute different programs in its internal storage. All mainframes, servers, laptops, and desktop computers, smartphones, and tablets, and general purpose devices. So, what about the special purpose computer? They are like aircraft control system, electronic voting machines. They are special purpose. They are designed to solve specific problems. The instructions are pre-programmed and permanently in the computer. What about the mode of use? Palm top computer. Palm top computers are very small, which can fit in the palm of a fan. That's why it's palm. The electronic pen is used to give an input. They have a small disk storage and can be connected to a wireless network. Laptop computer. Laptop computers are portable with less weight. It can be transported easily and used in temporary space such as airplane, meetings, etc. They are designed for low power consumption and have an attached keyboard and touchpad. They are portable with less weight. And personal computers, PCs. A personal computer is a cost effective computer that is designed for a single end user. PC is dependent on microprocessor technology, which allows PC makers to set the entire CPU on a single chip. What about the workstation? Workstation is faster than personal computer. It is designed for a user or a group of users with better multitasking capability, additional RAM, higher speed graphics, adapters, and drive capacity. So, what about the client and server? The server is a device that manages the sharing of network resources to the users. An application server, file server, virtual server, mail server, or some types of server. A client is the receiving end of the service which made by the server. It requires the server and gains access with the server. So we are done with the different types of computer. Now we are entering into the arena of fundamentals of computer. You need to know what are the fundamentals of computer. So a computer system has four basic components. Let's see: hardware, software, data, users, motherboard. What is a motherboard? It's the main printed circuit board of a computer that carries the CPU chip, ROM, RAM, and the basic input output system. All together, this consists of motherboard. What about the hardware? It represents the physical and tangible components of the keyboard, mouse, monitor. Software. You can't see the software with your own eyes. So these are a set of electronic instructions called programs that make the computer perform tasks. What about data? It's a set of facts which the computer stores and reads in the form of numbers. Which of the following? Let's see. Let's solve some MCQs. So, first question is: which of the following refers to process of starting a computer from a powerless state and setting it up to normal working condition? That is, answer is all the above. Cold boot, cold start, hard boot. You can use all of this. This refers to a process of starting a computer from a powerless state and setting it up to normal working conditions. So, which of the following looks for system files during a boot process? That is BIOS, binary input output device. BIOS. We have already seen basic input output system chip. So, BIOS looks for system files during a boot process. What about this? Specialized programs designed to allow input or output devices to communicate with the rest of the computer system is called device driver. Here comes the fourth question. Which among the following type of computers is also known informally as number cruncher, that is known as supercomputer? And here comes the fifth question, that is, which among the following organization developed Saga 220 supercomputer in 2011? The question came in RB Assistant Mains. So answer is ISRO. So name the person a personal computer's microprocessor uses to get the computer system started after you turn it on. Sixth question. Answer is BIOS program. Now let's look at the solutions, their explanations. The question may comes from this portion also. Let's see. Cold boot is the process of starting a computer from shutdown or powerless state and setting it to normal working conditions. Cold boot refers to a general process of starting the hardware components of computer, laptop, or server to the point that its operating system and all startup applications and services are launched. Cold boot is also known as hard boot, cold start, or dead start. BIOS looks for the system files during a boot process. BIOS is a special software that interfaces the major hardware components like keyboard, mouse of your computer with the OS, that is, for example, Microsoft OS. It is usually stored on a flash memory chip on the mother card, but sometimes the chip is another type of ROM. A device or hardware driver is a group of files that enable one or more hardware devices to communicate with the computer's operating systems. Without drivers, the computer would not be able to send and receive data correctly to hardware devices such as printer. So next, supercomputers are sometimes called number cruncher. Why? They can do a great deal of arithmetic very quickly and have a great deal of high-speed storage main memory and have very fast internal communications. The term number cruncher is sometimes applied to programs. For example, statistical programs are number crunchers because the main task is to perform mathematical calculations. ISRO has built India's fastest supercomputer in terms of the theoretical peak performance. 220 trillion floating point operations per second. Flops. 220 trillion flops per second. K. Radhakrishnan ISRO Saga 220 at the newly established supercomputing facility named after Satish Dhawan of the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. Saga. Satish Dhawan. Okay. Next, BIOS is the program. We have already talked about this. Next, let's see the basic computer organization and data processing cycle. Basic diagram of the computer processing consists of input unit, output unit, and CPU. What does CPU consists of? CPU controls control unit, memory it stores the memory, and performs which of the following performs operations? Arithmetic and logical unit. And next comes the secondary storage. So let's see the input unit. The input unit is used for giving instructions and data by using input devices. It converts these instructions and data to the computer acceptable format, and it supplies the converted instructions and data to the computer system for further processing. Just it works the system works just like a human brain. The inputs we take from our skin, from our organs, it transmitted to brain and we perform the actions. The same is done here. Input unit is used for giving instructions and data by using input devices. So let's look at the CPU. CPU performs most of the processing inside a computer. CPUs have been constructed on a single integrated circuit called a microprocessor. It consists of the control unit, the arithmetic logic unit, and the memory unit. Let's look at the control unit. Control unit manages the computer's various components. It reads and interprets the program instructions, transforming them into control signals that activate other parts of the computer. Okay, so that's how control unit works. Now, what does ALU? ALU is an arithmetic logical unit. It can perform arithmetic and logical operations. Set of arithmetic operations that an ALU supports to addition, subtraction, and more complex mathematical operations. Logic operations involve Boolean logic like and, or, not. These can be useful for creating complicated conditional statements. What about the memory unit? Computer main memory consists of primary and secondary memory. So let's look at the both of them, primary and secondary. Primary memory holds only those data and instructions on which computer is currently working. It has limited capacity. So primary memory has limited capacity and data is lost when power is switched off. So if you switch off, the data is lost. It's a temporary one. Okay. And holds only those data and instructions on which computer is currently running. Okay. It is generally made up of the semiconductor device. It is a volatile memory. Okay, it's a volatile. The question may be asked like this: which of the following is a volatile memory? Which of the following is a non-volatile memory? So, which of the following data is lost when power is switched off? That is primary memory. So, the two types of primary, again, there are two types of primary memory: ROM and RAM. RAM, random access memory, is the internal memory of the CPU for storing data, program, and result of the program. It is read write memory which stores data till the machine is working. Some types of RAMs are dynamic RAM, DRAM, static RAM, SRAM, synchronous dynamic RAM, HDRAM, etc. Dynamic random access memory, DRAM. Dynamic memory must be constantly refreshed and or else it loses its contents. This type of memory is more economical, which means it's cheaper. It must be constantly refreshed. So what about RAM? It is faster and less volatile than RAM, but requires more power and is expensive. Of course, cost comes the quality. So it is faster, less volatile, much better than RAM. It requires more power and is more expensive. It does not need to be refreshed like a RAM. So what about synchronous dynamic random access memory? It is a type of DRAM that can run at much higher clock speeds. So it's just a mixture of DRAM and SRAM like that. So whatever ROM, read only memory. ROM stores data permanently on personal computers and other electronic devices. It performs major input output tasks and holds programs or software instructions. It is non volatile. So what about primary memory? Primary memory is a volatile one, but ROM is a non-volatile thing. You need to understand that. And what about MROM, masked ROM? The very first ROMs were hardwired devices that contained a pre-programmed set of data or instruction. These kind of ROMs are known as masked ROMs, which are inexpensive. What about PROM? Programmable read-only memory. PROM can be modified only once by a user. The user can buy a blank PROM and enter the desired contents using a PROM program. What about EPROM? EPROM is erasable and programmable read-only memory. The EPROM can be erased by exposing it to ultraviolet light. EPROMs have a quartz window in the package to expose the chip to UV light. They were widely used as the BIOS chips in computer motherboards. What about EEPROM? Electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. It is programmed and erased electrically. It can be erased and reprogrammed about 10,000 times. Both erasing and programming takes about 4 to 10 milliseconds. They were also used as BIOS chips. Okay, here comes the secondary memory. So if you look at the primary memory, it says it's a volatile memory, but remember, ROM is a non-volatile memory. Remaining all are volatile. So there are several things: dynamic, SRAM, synchronous DRAM, ROM, MROM, EPROM, EEPROM. EPROM can be widely used. EEPROM. What about EPROM? EPROM can be erased by exposing it to UV light. MPROM, these are hardwired devices and contain it's a pre-programmed set of data, comes with a pre-programmed set of data instructions. Whatever PROM can be modified only once by user. What about ROM? Stores data permanently on computers, which is non-volatile. What about secondary memory? Let's see. Secondary memory stores data on long-term basis. It cannot be processed directly by the CPU. It must first be copied into primary storage. Secondary memory devices include magnetic disks like hard drives, floppy disks, optical disks, CDs, CD-ROMs, and magnetic tapes, USB flash drives. What about hard drive? It's a non-removable storage device containing magnetic disks or platters rotating at high speeds. The hard drive stores data in segments of concentric circles. It may spin at 5,400 rotations per minute. What about floppy disk? Floppy disk is composed of a thin, flexible magnetic disk sealed in a square plastic carrier. Floppy disks were widely used to distribute software, transfer files, create backup copies of data. To read and write data from a floppy disk, a computer system must have a floppy disk drive. Okay, so CDs almost completely replaced the floppy disk. Let's see compact disk. A compact disk is a portable storage medium that can be used to record, store data in digital form. They are fragile and prone to scratches. A compact disk is a portable storage medium that can be used to record, store data in digital form. They are fragile and prone to scratches. Yes, I think you know it. Compact disk ROM, CD-ROM. It's a storage device that can be read but can't change or delete it.